Hey there, welcome to Coding with Drew. In this video, we'll be learning how JavaScript variables work, including data types and scope. We just went over declaring variables in the previous video, but I want to give you some clarity on how to write them. In this example, we used let, but it could also be var or const. Preferably, you don't use var. In order to use the variable, you have to give it a name. This is sometimes called an identifier. In this case, the variable is called myVar. Note the V is capitalized, and this is because we use camel case in JavaScript by convention. This means that the first word is all lowercase, and the first letter of any other words are capitalized. This is not a hard and fast rule. The only hard and fast rules are listed above. JavaScript is not a strictly typed language. You've probably heard this, but don't know what it actually means. This means that you can use the assignment operator to assign a variable any type and change the type later if you so choose. We will discuss those types on the next slide. You can also just declare a variable without declaring its value. That is to say, like you do let myVar semicolon. Until you assign it a value, the value is known as undefined. So what are the data types? So JavaScript has strings, which we discussed in the last video as anything with a quote, single quote, double quote, or backtick. Integers and strings operate very similarly to Bash, so not a whole lot new here. Booleans, which can only be true or false, and arrays. They're similar to Bash, and they contain data in comma-separated curly brackets. So see the example right here. And another cool thing about JavaScript is that functions can be stored as variables. So then you can recall that function value, the output of the function later. The next topic is scope. Where you declare a variable will affect where it can be used within your code. If you declare a variable inside of a function, it would be scoped to that function and not accessible outside of that function. This is known as a local variable. Global variables are defined outside of a function, and they can be accessed anywhere within the script, including functions. As a side note, global variables use more memory because the browser has to remember them as long as the page is loaded, whereas local variables are only in memory as long as the function is being executed. And that concludes this video. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.